Hey, Maxime here, hope you're well. And today we are with Carina. Carina, how are you?
I'm good. It's hot. It's summer and it's 2nd June, so everything is perfect.
Yeah, thanks for accepting to do this interview for the character animation community. So we've got a lot of questions from the community, so thank you everybody who asked Carina on Instagram. So Carina, can you introduce yourself a little?
Hello, I'm Carina. I'm from Sweden and I I started studying animation when I was like 14, very early, because I went to a high school here that actually learned us 3D graphic games, programming, and everything. And after that, I went to Canada to specialize in animation and VFX. So I went to the Vancouver Film School and I studied there for 1 year. And then I did some freelancing. And then I jumped to France and I worked there for two animated series. And then I went back. I went to London and worked there for BBC. And then after that, I just started on my own short film, and I'm still working on it.
Yeah, that's cool. So for all people asking, this was like the short extract that we saw before this interview. Can you let us know a bit more about this short film? I think you have like a Kickstarter campaign on it. Can you let us know how many people, what's the project, and yeah.
Yeah. So I made a lot of short films before, but it's been my own small things that I did for hobby and stuff because my biggest dream is to become a director. So when I had worked in the industry for a couple of years, I had learned the pipeline and I've talked to the directors and got their feedback. I started this short film and I want to make it a really dark one. I want to make an animated thriller. So for everybody that grew up with animation classics, I want to make an more mature movie for them. So if you like The Ritual or The Blair Witch, then this will be like the perfect mix between animation classic and The Ritual.
Yeah, that's actually what I really like in the art direction. Actually, it personally reminds me of my dogs because they have like long hairs and
Yeah,
uh, funny thing. But yeah, it's really mature in the design and really dark, but at the same time, it looks like really, yeah, like a classic animation movie.
yeah. So my initial idea was that it should be like a clickbait. You think you go into this Disney film that is very happy and nothing bad is in it, and then you will slowly feel how it's starting to turn. Uh, that was my like initial.
So, what's the inspiration for this universe?
Uh, we have a very famous Swedish illustrator that designed the international famous trolls and that you can see in a lot of games, for example. His name is John Bauer, and you can see his art. Actually, for example, the Shadow of Light, you can see his art style in there. Um, so one of my big inspiration was that include his 2D watercolor illustration style in this movie, even though it's a 3D film. So I want to see how it can be translated and also tell the story like the Grimm brothers.
Yeah, really famous stories that inspired a lot of filmmakers and
Yeah.
also
Also, I'm very interested. How would a Disney film be if the director Guillermo del Toro made a film with Disney? How would that be? So it's kind of my a little bit like experimentations. Like, how would a film like that be? And then I try to kind of go where I think
That's great
Okay.
because soon we will have an answer. So yeah, let's ask the community question. Um, so does the Cieco movie is inspired by legends, and what are the origins of the characters?
The origins of the characters, like the base,
I
the
guess
background.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so Cieco is this very gullible and curious fox pup, and her premise is that she doesn't listen to anyone, so she get into a lot of trouble. And one day she'll meet this really kind of like a cute but creepy guy, the deer with the skull, and they become friends. The classic cliche.
Yeah.
And he trick her into the woods where she will disappear. And in the woods, she get lost. She's all alone, and she meets this very weird rock that's very canine looking. Uh, and he's the guardian of the woods. He's there to protect it from all evil. But he has turned to stone, and no one really knows why. And she will kind of wake him up, and then I can't tell more.
Yeah. The answer will be in the film.
Yeah.
So another question from MN Cave is he or she is asking how to penetrate the 3D industry.
Work. Well, the thing is that you can go to a very good school, uh, but even if you go to a good school, you need to keep working. So, for example, I know people from my school. They did great in school when they had the mentors and they had the teachers. And when they graduated from the school, they stopped making videos and only applied with the work they did in school. Or they made new work, but they didn't get any feedback on it, so they couldn't improve, or they didn't see what they needed to improve. So they kind of stopped at the school level. So for everyone that are trying to get into the industry, what I would do is when you go out from school, keep working on your demo reel. Make sure that the work you do is simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Just make sure that if you are a modeler, have one really good human model, one very good animal model, and maybe the third can be something crazy or just a prop for the environment. We are searching like crazy for textures. It's really hard to find good texture people. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's really good advice. So if I like understand correctly, it's like constant improving, keep working after school, and create like a clear and efficient portfolio
yeah. Ask for feedback.
and ask for feedback.
Yep.
So do you have like some place on internet that you suggest for getting feedback or learning? Do you have like some
Yeah.
things?
So on Facebook, there's really, I think it's like one or two really big 3D modeling groups that you can join. And if you post your work there and just ask them to give their opinion or thoughts, they're very helpful. Um, so yeah, I think Facebook is one of the better groups to join. Um, if you post a work, you might not get so many reactions. But if you just write opinion and give feedback, they will give you opinion
Okay.
and feedback.
Really good advice. So, what's your dream job?
Director.
And
Uh,
what
yeah.
what kind of what kind of film, what kind of thing that you want to direct?
I would like to focus on a more mature audience. because I feel that the animation industry need to follow the fans from when they grow up. It needs to be animation films for us too, so that we have things to pick from. So we can pick animation for child, family, and then you can also pick thrillers, and so I would like to focus on that.
Yeah, that's great. That's my personal opinion about it, but I think that was like the success of Love, Death and Robots on Netflix because
Yeah,
we are born with all the animation, Toy Story and all those cool films, but when we grow up, it's hard to find more mature content.
yeah, and the funny things in old Disney classic is that there's a lot of adult jokes, right? We love it.
Yeah.
So
So, is Cieco your biggest project?
yes, this is the project. This is the first project that I've hired people to work with me. This is the first time I actually gather a team of professional people.
Okay, that's really nice. Um, when did you started to make animation?
14 years old.
Okay. So that was directly animation, or did you start it first, maybe by modeling, sculpting, or did you already started animating?
Animating. I animated on paper first when I was really small. And then when I went into high school, I started to rig and animate directly. I wanted to produce a film.
Okay, that's awesome. So one more personal question is it hard to be a woman in the 3D industry?
I would rather say it's hard to be young in the industry. Rather than being male or female, it's more about experience, to be honest. If you are older, people will take you more seriously.
Okay.
That's what I've noticed.
Yeah, so you're telling that some people can judge yourself because you're young and not watching your work for what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So I have never noticed the female or male difference. It's more about age.
Okay, that's really, really good to know and great to share this feedback. So, do you have some advices for younger people that wants to um, get serious in the industry?
Yeah. uh, it's work. Don't go into the industry and expect it to be a dream. It's a work like anything else, any job. You go in and you work in a schedule. You go in the morning and you end in the evening. Some days can be harder, some days can be easier. But I've heard a lot of negative talk about the animation industry right now. And I just want to say it's amazing if you work hard, but be also aware that it's a job.
Yeah, that's my point of view on many subject. Like a job is saying that you are actually solving a problem, and if it was easy, everybody can do it. You're not solving a problem, so no reason
Yeah.
to get paid. So
Yeah, and just because it's film, it doesn't mean it's a dream.
yeah. So, what are the key tips to make the character appealing, according to you?
Work on a really good backstory. You need to love the character. You need to feel the character yourself first. You, if you want to, if you can think of it like this: when you talk about the character to someone, you must feel that yourself are invested in what you are talking about, uh, and then start with a pen and paper. Make sure that you get the forms, the volumes right, and work towards um, when you have the backstory, you can start drawing from what you see when you think about the character, and then you just need to put it on paper.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
yeah, in terms of workflow, do you have like some advices for people that are actually starting or wants to start their first animation film? What will be like the advice that you wanted to know before starting Cieco?
Time. Give it time. It takes time. So just be prepared. If you're gonna make a short film, be prepared that you will need to invest time in it. It's crucial. And always start with writing. Keywords, things that are very clear to you, and start to fill up the empty space. Make sure that you have a really good script before you start.
So did you take like a long time making people reading back the script and before starting really the production? How many time did you take like for the pre-production?
The pre-production took 1 year. And that was only searching for the right story, the right way to illustrate the design, finding the characters. And it's also the year that it's hardest because you have nothing. You start with nothing, and if people ask you what you're doing, you can't show them anything. So it's a very mental crisis the first year. So, but keep writing, keep sketching, and you will get something good.
Yeah, and one personal question is, how do you like work on the release and the promo sync? Do you have like particular tips for people that once actually they have finished their film? What's like the thing that you should take care before releasing your film?
Promotion. You need to promote your film. You need to get people to notice it. So before releasing the film, you should invest, get a budget for only promotion. It's the biggest thing. You can't just release a film and expect it to a miracle. It happens that you can upload a film and it will get millions of views the next day, but don't expect it. So make sure that you promote on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, because people are there on social media.
Okay, that's really good advices, and yeah, I noticed so many great films that were like shadowed because there is no real promotion after the release.
Yeah, and sometimes you might not have a budget, so social media is still a very good way to with a low budget.
Yeah. So, which animation software and which software are you using for the production?
Maya, Photoshop, all Credit Cloud, so all Adobe programs, of course. It's like After Effects, it's very good. And we kind of stick to those programs. Nuke, a little bit of Nuke.
Yeah. And about like the render engine and the texture.
We render with Arnold, and we are thinking of rendering with iRender Forum. We are talking about sponsorship with them right now. It's not. We're still working on it, but
Okay. And about the texture, do you make them directly in Arnold, or is it some Substance or Quixel textures?
we make it both traditional and Photoshop. So the textures are both painted
Oh, okay.
on paper with watercolors, and then we also use Photoshop.
Okay, so really more traditional and manual way to create
Yeah,
things.
because we need the illustrated style.
Okay, really interesting. And so, yeah, about rigging, someone is asking, what's the software that you think is the best for rigging in animation?
I would say Blender is good. Blender is pretty easy to rig when it comes to deformers and blend shapes. But I think you can make, so far, you can make better rigging in Maya. Yeah, but it can change. Blender is making a lot of upgrades. But
Yeah.
right now, I would say Maya.
Okay, that's good to know. So if someone starting is actually watching us, would you say it's better to start in Blender or better to start in Maya?
It's I would say that you need to learn both because right now Maya is kicking out people.
Oh,
If you're not a student, you can't get Maya license. So I
okay.
would say Blender is good if you don't have any money.
Okay, I didn't know about the that Blender that my Autodesk was, changing their rules.
Yep, you can no longer get Maya if you're not actually a student, an active student. But you can buy the indie version if you are Maya indie if you are in the countries where you can buy it.
Okay.
Not all countries.
Okay, that's interesting to know. So yeah, it means that just after your studies, if you want to keep working in Maya, you need to invest money.
Yep, you need to buy it.
Okay. That's really great to know. So yeah, we have said all the questions from the community. Thanks to everybody actually asking some question. So do you have like a last word for the interview? Do you have like something to say to close the interview?
Me.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were talking to me. Support the community. Engage. There's a lot of groups that try very hard with a lot of people in it, but they only get 1-2 likes, but there's like 3,000 members. It's so support by liking and sharing and caring. It gives the person a boost, and it means a lot. You do great stuff. Film
Yeah.
is wonderful.
Thanks for all this word, and I'm like okay with you. I think like the animation community and 3D community should be like more recognized, and we should talk more about animators and less about voice actors and all that stuff. So yeah,
Yeah,
a big community work should be done to give the right credits for the people working hard hidden behind their computers.
yeah. It's very important to lift people behind, uh, because often it's the producers and the actors that lifts up, and it not enough credit for us.
That's right. That's what I'm thinking too. So thanks again for your time today, and
Thank you.
yeah, and see you next time. So everybody, thanks for watching this video. I will put all the links down in the description, and if you want to support the film, we've let the Kickstarter, and of course, if you are watching this video after the Kickstarter is done, watch the film. Keep follow what is doing for the Cieco movie, and see you soon. Bye.
Bye.